ゴマ様が王になってもそうしていただけるんでしょう。それよりお気をつけになって。だってそうでしょ。あのとんでもない伝説の魔人ブーを倒したのよ。では失礼。キングゴマ。
After Shenron grants King Goma's wish, he says, "That's it, goodbye." Goma is outraged. "What do you mean goodbye? Where are my other 2 wishes?" Shenron replies, 3 wishes are only for loyal customers. Unknown newbies only get 1. After this scene, Shenron leaves, and then we return to see the reaction of the group of people who have become children. Goku and Vegeta, who were fighting, fall to the ground because they lost their balance because they were not used to their childish size. They still can't fly properly, and that's when the opening begins. Obviously, the opening brings a series of interesting things. The first is the confirmation that it won't be just Goku and Kahioshin who will travel to the Makai Kingdom. The opening implies that Bulma, Vegeta, and Piccolo will also be going. I say this because I saw a lot of people disappointed with the idea of only Goku and Kahioshin going on this journey. As we see the characters walking forward, the background changes and reveals the 3 great kingdoms of Makai. Later on, the episode makes it clear that each kingdom has its own king and that each Tamagami lives in one of these worlds, protecting their respective Dragon Ball. In episode 1, it was mentioned that before Dabura, the king of that dark and reddish world, the one who ruled was Abura, who we deduce is Dabura's father. The opening also revealed the appearance of this demon, who looks a lot like Dabura. Next, a so-called third demon eye appears, which, honestly, doesn't look much like Tenshinhan's eye. There have been several theories saying that this eye could be Tenshinhan's own third eye, but I don't really believe that. We also see a Minotaur in the Purple Kitten race. That's fascinating. In the initial concept of the Dragon Ball universe, the Makai world was at the bottom of the map. When Dragon Ball Super introduced the 12 universes, many imagined that each universe would have its own Makai. However, from the looks of it, Makai is not directly connected to the 12 universes. This would explain how there could be similar inhabitants in universes 6 and 7, such as Beerus race. After the opening, we return to King Goma, and the title of the episode is revealed, Glorio. Goma is very sad because of Shenron's mischief and says, "Damn, if I had known, I would have asked for the demonic third eye." He even asks if Neva can gather and restore the Dragon Balls again, but Neva says that it is not possible to do that. Goma then asks if it is possible to pull the Dragon Balls from the Makai realm, just like they did with the ones from Earth. Neva explains that to do so, the 3 Tamagami must be defeated. Dejizu, one of the villains, taunts him, "Stop being so dramatic." His plan worked. Let's go now. Finally, Dend and Mr. Popo show up. After that theory that demons have pointy ears, people started to speculate, could Mr. Popo be a demon too? And it seems so. Now that he's gotten smaller, that thing on his head has disappeared, revealing little horns. In addition, Dend has turned into a baby, showing that he was still considered a child, which is evident by his height. To leave Earth without the Dragon Balls, the villains decide to kidnap Dend. In other words, that idea that Goku went to the Makai Kingdom to revert his transformation into a child has gone out the window. In fact, he went to rescue Dend. And if they were smarter, they would have taken Mr. Popo too, but instead, they left a witness behind. The villains leave, and then we go back to the party. The funny thing is that Krillin is more concerned about the fact that his bald head has returned than anything else, since his height hasn't changed much. Master Roshi, Chi-Chi and especially Bulma are amused by the event, and Bulma even comments, "Wow, how cute Vegeta is now." Goku decides to go to the lookout, but since he still can't fly properly, Kibito takes him there with the teleporter, taking Goku, Kahioshin and Piccolo with him. When they arrive at the lookout, young Popo welcomes them and explains everything that happened. 3 guys from the Makai Kingdom showed up, a short one, a green-headed guy just like Piccolo called Neva, and another who looked like Kahioshin. Piccolo recognizes the name Neva and explains that he is the legendary Namekian who was left alone in the demon realm to protect the spheres there. Those who are paying attention may wonder how Piccolo knows this. Many imagine that this information came from Kami-sama's memories, but we must remember that Kami-sama did not know his true story. In fact, he discovered that he was an extraterrestrial in the Z Saga, and now we know that they are actually demons. This information probably came from Neil, since he was assimilated by Piccolo during the Frieza Saga. In the Dragon Ball Super manga, in the Granola Saga, we see that the current Patriarch of Namek talks about the origins of his people. So it is quite possible that Neil learned this when he was a child, through the Patriarch of his time. The mission now is to rescue Dende. Kaioshin explains that it is not possible to teleport directly to the Makai Kingdom. Kibito then teleports to the Kaioshin world and brings a ship from there. But there is a problem, the ship was damaged in the battle against Kid Buu. Goku suggests, "I'll call Bulma, she'll fix it." But since he still can't fly well, Kibito solves the situation and goes to get Bulma and Vegeta at once. When they arrive, Vegeta, as always, doesn't miss the chance to say something, "No one turns me into a brat and gets away with it." Where is that bum? Bulma starts working on the ship, but the mechanism is complex. She warns, this will take about 10 days to fix. 2 days pass, and in that time, Goku and the others begin to get used to their new balance, but they still have problems with their spatial awareness. Then, Goku has a brilliant idea, "I'm going to get my magic staff back." In the classic Dragon Ball, when he still didn't know how to fly, he used the staff to get to the lookout, connecting the roof of Karin's palace to Kami's platform. However, when he gets there, he discovers that the staff is no longer there. He asks Master Karin, who says, "I asked Master Roshi to keep it." Goku goes to Master Roshi's house and, upon arriving, sees the old man loving his new look and jokes, "Now I want to see if they'll call me old." The scene is hilarious. Master Roshi was using the staff as a clothesline. When Goku returns to the lookout, he shows off the staff and almost hits Piccolo. Bulma, surprised, exclaims, "My God, it's your magic staff." Goku starts to eat, and so does Vegeta. They talk about the demon realm, but Piccolo explains that he only heard stories, but it's clear to me that all this information came through Neil, since he wasn't alive at the time. He mentions that the ancient Namekians fled that place because they didn't want to follow orders. Suddenly, a ship appears, piloted by a guy named Glorio. He says he was sent by one of the Makai kings, specifically the one from the third demon world, which is probably the realm with floating rocks we saw in the trailers. Glorio invites Goku, "Come with me to the demon realm to defeat King Goma." The Kaioshin decides to go along, claiming he has information about the Makai realm. Vegeta also wants to go, but Glorio's ship only has room for 3. Vegeta retorts, "Look at my size. I don't even count as half a person." Goku and Kaioshin leave first. Piccolo, Vegeta and Bulma will follow after, once Bulma finishes repairing the ship. In a funny conversation, Bulma asks, "Can I study your ship?" Glorio answers, "This is a plane." Bulma retorts, "But if it flies in space, it's a ship." Glorio insists, "But I don't only use it in space." After this dialogue, Goku finally sets off in search of the unknown. And so the episode ends. And here we go for some advances and expectations for the next episodes. Now that we have a little more plot to analyze and theorize, it is more than clear to me that there are 3 journeys happening simultaneously in Dragon Ball Daima that will make Goku and his friends react to all these events. The first and most obvious is that of Goma, who wants to become even more powerful, a classic villain. However, the second and third journeys are the most important. The second is Glorio's journey. He is clearly plotting something. I can't say that he is on Dr. Arinsu's side, but this possibility exists, and that is why I believe that he has some desire of his own and will probably betray Goku in the future. The character's personality and even the opening of the anime make this very clear. Perhaps he wants freedom like the Namekians. However, the third journey is the most interesting and intriguing for me, which is the journey of the beautiful doctor. That demon woman intrigues me. As I mentioned in the video about the first episode, for me, Dr. Arinsu will be the great villain of Dragon Ball Daima. And there are several subtle details that point to this path. The first is that she has already fled Makai to the outside world, but why did she come back? Well, for me it is clear, she came to study, analyze and learn from the beings of the outside world to evolve her own project that could be a mega-powerful demonic android or just use Jizu and Goma to gain powers for herself. Will we have new demonic androids? Let's get to the curiosities. Arinsu is inspired by Towa from Heroes and Xenoverse, who is also a demon scientist. And as we know, Towa betrayed the Makai Kingdom and allied herself with Mira, a young man who is actually an artificial being who has in his body the DNA of several powerful masters, and the goal was to have Goku's DNA. Glorio is clearly inspired by Mira, which is why I mentioned that Dr. Arinsu and Glorio might be working together. Anyway, maybe she wants to create super demonic androids, more advanced than the androids created by Red Ribbon, which had a limit on the energy they could absorb from their enemies, and many were still in an unfinished state. Even Cell only became perfect after evolving by absorbing many people in Androids 17 and 18. And bringing Goku there to steal his DNA might be her true plan. But there's more. We have to remember that Piccolo Daimao created his demons with eggs. The current Piccolo himself was born that way. And now we know that the Namekians are demons. And look, the 3 protectors of the Makai Dragon Balls are probably robots or demonic machines, and their names explain it. Tama means egg and Gami means scrambled or mixed. In other words, scrambled egg or altered egg. Therefore, a demon that has been mixed, altered. In other words, what the beautiful doctor wants is to create something that can be as powerful as the Tamagami that were created by Neva to protect the Dragon Balls, that way she could have the 3 Dragon Balls for herself. So she is using Goma, Dajizu and Neva to lure Goku and the others to steal their powers, and maybe she promised something to Glorio in exchange for his help. Another interesting curiosity is that this was also used in Dragon Ball GT with the return of Android 17 who became Super 17. That is, it is not the first time that we see a scientist who is in a lower plane, in this case, in Hell, create an even more advanced android to fulfill his wishes. But now I want to know your opinion about everything we talked about in today's video. And if you've done it this far, leave your like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next videos.